Hello my wonderful friends, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're new. My name is Sartana. In this vlog we're going to be reading hockey romances. I recently discovered sports romance last year when I read Mile High, and I have been absolutely obsessed. So in this vlog I want to go ahead and read some hockey romances. I have a stack here that I want to get to. I highly doubt I'm going to be getting to all of these, but I am really looking forward to reading some of these and discovering which are going to be my next favorites. This is a collaboration video, so I am going to be linking in the description all of the YouTubers that are also participating in this fun vlog experience. Please make sure to go ahead and check out their channels to watch their hockey vlogs as well. I don't know too much about these books. I think a lot of these are like college based or just around hockey players. So the first one I have here is The Deal by L. Kennedy. I know this is the first one in the off-campus series. I guess these are like the OG covers because I can't find them anymore. I only see like the cartoon covers, which are actually superior to this. If I like this, I'm gonna have to upgrade my collection here. I'm just gonna read like the bold part. I'm not gonna sit here and bore you guys with the details from the back. But here it says she's about to make a deal with the college bad boy, and it's going to be oh so good. So this is like a college hockey romance, and I find that pretty interesting right now. So we have The Deal by L. Kennedy. Then we have Consider Me by Becca Mack. This is a small town hockey romance, which I'm not gonna lie, I feel like is probably going to be the first book that I read in this vlog because I love small town romances, and the fact that this is a hockey romance also just puts it right above all of the other books that's on this TBR so far. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. In the back it says, for a shot at love, he'll do whatever it takes. Cute so far. And then the next one, it's the first in the UCMH series by Hannah Grace. This is Icebreaker. It's been on my TBR for like the longest time, and I really need to get to this book like so badly. This is hopefully going to be read in this vlog. All I know is that this is about a ice skater and a hockey player. This is like a college romance as well. So it's very close aligned with The Deal as well. I've heard really good things. I've heard really bad things about this series, but I am really interested in it, and I am so for this cartoon cover. I absolutely love it. And in the back it has like the skates right here. I just think it's so cute. I love this cover. And then by L. Kennedy and Serena Bowen we have Good Boy. This is pretty short, like yellow straight edges. I don't really like this necessarily, but I picked this up because I was looking for more hockey romances to read, and this was just there, and I was like, let me try this out. But in the back it says, we're way more than friends, Jesse Blake, but no worries, I'll just sit tight until you figure that out. So this is like a friends to lovers, and just that little tidbit got me. This looks like fun. And then we have Pucked by Helena Hunting. I really love this cover, the color scheme and the sprayed edges that like sold me. I think this is so pretty, so cute. And at the top it says, one night with hockey's most infamous playboy. And then in the back it says, she thought it was just one night, but hockey's biggest player wants more in this clever and sexy rom-com. Don't miss the New York Times bestselling series from Helena Hunting. I love this because it is giving me sort of like Mile High vibes, where the female main character, she doesn't like the whole your famous hockey player playboy type, and where our female main character is not too fond of our famous playboy hockey player, but then they end up falling in love. We obviously know they're going to be falling in love. Like, these rom-coms are usually ending the same way. I'm expecting a happy ending at the end of all of these books. I tend to stay away from contemporary romance books because they are so like predictable, especially like the ending. We know we're gonna get a happy ending, but I like the storyline, and I love the fact that there are some deeper rooted meanings in some of these books. And I can't stop talking about Mile High. I'm gonna bring it up one more time, but Mile High gave me that. And I just hope that some of these books gives me that same feeling. So I'm really looking forward to reading these. I am going to be starting with Consider Me by Becca Mack. I just really want to start this book so badly. I'm going to be starting this first. I'm going to read this today, and I'm going to come back and give you guys an update. Wish me luck. I'm so excited. I really love when I'm reading a book and it just like makes me super giddy, and I want nothing more than to just continue reading it, and I can't put it down. And that is exactly what I'm getting from Consider Me by Becca Mack. You guys, I absolutely love her writing. I feel so immersed into the story and I am forgetting that I'm reading. Like, it's so good. I absolutely love Elsie Silver books, and I feel like this is giving me like the same vibes. I love that Carter is like a fuck boy and Olivia is never going to do a one night stand, and she has taken a stand and she's like, I'm not going to be one of your puck bunnies. If you want me, then you're going to have to really want me, want a future with me, want a relationship with me. I'm not just going to sit here and do this one night stand thing with you. He's actually looking forward to changing for her, and he's like, maybe this is the girl. There's a lot of background for why Carter is the way he is as well. We're kind of peeling back on his personality and kind of figuring out what the inner layer is like. I'm really enjoying myself right now, and I just wanted to come on here and tell you guys I haven't gotten very far. I am like 108 pages in. I'm on chapter 14 and it's titled Doomsday. It's really funny. The title of each of the chapters are super hilarious. So chapter 14 is Doomsday, chapter 13 is Oprah and Oopsies, and chapter 12 is Pay Up Garrett. These chapter titles are so funny, and it also sums up what the chapter is going to be about a little bit, or gives us little tidbits, and I just think it's pretty funny. I am really enjoying Becca Mack's writing. I was reading on my Kindle a little bit last night. I did see some like misspellings and grammar. Besides for that, I haven't really seen anything I don't like, but that did take me out of the story a little bit because I had to like reread and be like, hold on a second, what is this really trying to tell me? But you guys, this book is so good. I fear this is going to go on one of my favorite romances of this year. I can't wait to read the next book in the Playing for Keeps series. That's what it's called, the series name. I don't know if I told you guys what the series name is or not. But yeah, I'm really enjoying myself. I'm gonna keep reading and I will give you guys an update when I have an update for you. But this is giving me maybe like 5-star vibes, I hope. Maybe I am overreaching here, but I'm very hopeful. I'm loving this so far. So I have a reading update for you guys. I finished Consider Me by Becca Mack. If I sound funny, I'm sick, so please ignore that. I have been reading this book super slowly because I just haven't been feeling good, and it is like almost 500 pages, and when romances are over 350 pages, I start to get bored a little bit and it just starts to feel like super dragged out. And that's kind of what happened with this book. It started to feel super dragged out, but I did really enjoy it. I really liked Carter's character development in this book. His character development was everything. How he went from being a playboy to a faithful boyfriend. I loved seeing Olivia's journey with him. She had a lot of self-doubts and insecurities that they dealt with together, and it showed what a healthy relationship is like and how important communication is in relationships. And these are things that I feel like we all value in a healthy relationship. Becca Mack did a really good job putting that into these pages and bringing it to life. I felt like I could really connect with both of these characters, and the found family between Carter's friends, Olivia's friends, and their families as well. I love Olivia's niece and nephew. Their names are Alana and Jem, and they're just the sweetest. The way they get along with Carter is everything in this book. One thing I do have a problem with is having spice in like every single chapter. That's kind of what it started to feel like towards like the middle and ending of the book a little bit. When we got to the 200-300 page mark and we were still good, I was worried. Obviously something bad was going to happen towards the end of the book and then it was going to get rectified, but I would have rather like something bad happen, like yay here, and then them work their way through it yay here, you know what I mean, instead of it just kind of getting rushed a little bit. But then again, like the issue that did arise towards the end of this book, it was handled pretty well. Overall, I do really enjoy this book. I gave this a 4 stars. It didn't really hit the 5-star mark. I feel like if it was a little bit shorter and there was a little bit less spice, it didn't feel like we had so much filler, we would have made it to the 5-star mark. However, I really enjoyed this book. I thoroughly enjoyed Becca Mack's writing. How how engaging she made the entire story and how I felt like I could connect with every single character was just everything. This is definitely going to be up there with my small town romances. I'm really looking forward to reading the rest of the books in this series. I'm not going to be reading them in this vlog because I don't want to make this vlog to be like a vlog where I read one specific series only. I want to have a little bit of variety here, and I want to discover other hockey romances. So speaking of discovering other hockey romances, I do want to pick up The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I feel like this is going to be like a new personality for me. This is like OG hockey romance. In a way, it feels like a classical hockey romance. So I really want to pick this up. I feel like I'm going to have a really good time reading this. Really hoping also that it's not going to be like super cringy. This is like a college romance, so let's see how good it is. I know that there's like a spin-off series of the two main characters that are in here. They're children, I guess. I'm excited to see if I even want to read that. I just want to get into this and I want to see how much I like this. Let's see in the back a little bit. I'm not going to go into it completely blindly because I want to know the background of it, because I'm going to be starting to read it now. So I'll share the back with you. That way I don't spoil anything about what I think this book is about and I don't just ramble off for no reason. So in the back it says, she's about to make a deal with the college bad boy. Hannah Wells has finally found someone who turns her on. But while she might be confident in every other area of her life, she's carting around a full set of baggage when it comes to sex and seduction. If she wants to get her crush's attention, she'll have to step out of her comfort zone and make him take notice, even if it means tutoring the annoying, childish, cocky captain of the hockey team in exchange for a pretend date. And it's going to be oh so good. All Garrett Graham has ever wanted is to play professional hockey after graduation, but his plummeting GPA is threatening everything he's worked so hard for. If helping a sarcastic brunette make another guy jealous will lift his grades and secure his position on the team, he's all for it. But when one unexpected kiss leads to the wildest sex of both their lives, it doesn't take long for Garrett to realize that pretend isn't going to cut it. Now, he just has to convince Hannah that the man she wants looks a lot like him. This sounds so cute. Okay, I'm gonna read this. I'm so excited now. I'm gonna go and get to reading and I will check in with you guys in a bit. I'm feeling so comfy cute right now. I'm wearing like a big hoodie and I have my soft blanket and I have my coffee with my Hogwarts mug. This is like completely unrelated to the video, I guess. So I have a reading update for you guys. So remember when I told you I was gonna start The Deal yesterday? Well, I started it and I finished it. I literally started reading this last night and I was like, I'm just gonna read like a few chapters before I go to bed and like start my homework and stuff like that. And before I know it, it's like 2:30 in the morning and I've already finished the book. Wow. The things I liked about this book is the fact that I didn't really feel like I was reading. I was so immersed in the story and the characters that it literally just like flew by like a movie. Garrett Graham has crawled his way up to one of my top book boyfriends. I feel like I have sections. Like I have sections for top book boyfriends in fantasy, top book boyfriends in dark romance, top book boyfriends in contemporary romances. And I would say Garrett Graham has made his way up to like my top 5 contemporary romance boyfriends. This man was such a player, not as big of a player as Carter Beckett from Consider Me by Becca Mack, but Garrett Graham is definitely a player. He's a hockey player. He is getting action left and right because he's so popular. And he meets a nerdy girl named Hannah who is acing her ethics class where he is failing and he needs to maintain a C average in order to continue playing hockey for his college. He is begging Hannah to help him, to tutor him so he can pass. You guys, this man is so persistent. She can't help but say yes. They become friends and from there things just blossom, and there's some dark subjects that are brought up in this book that I wish was like a trigger warning in the beginning of the book. But just know, if you're going to be reading this book, that there's dark talks about unconsensual sex, and there is also talk about physical violence, like domestic violence and stuff like that. So if you're sensitive to those topics, just go in there knowing that that is going to be talked about a lot. However, it is beautifully done. It goes over how these two individuals go through such darkness in their life, overcame it, and became stronger people, how they maintain to continue to grow, succeed in life, pursue their dreams, and just become a strong couple together. And it's very beautiful. It is real life stuff. I read a lot of fantasy. Anytime I read a contemporary romance, I'm like reminded of, I guess, why sometimes I shy away from reading them, because I'd rather be in like the fantasy world with fantastical problems versus real life problems. It just makes it more real. It was very well written. I'm so happy I picked this up. It was really good. I can see why so many people rave about this series, and I cannot believe I literally read this entire book in one sitting. It's like 330 some pages. I don't remember the last time I read a book this quickly. I'm really looking forward to reading the rest of this series. I feel like this was a wonderful pick for this vlog. I'm really glad I read it. I did give this 4.5 stars. The reason why I couldn't give it a 5 stars is the ending was super predictable and it was really silly. I didn't agree with the way the author, I guess, gave us this problem like 20 pages before the book was over, and then it was resolved in like 5 or 10 pages. It felt really quick and easy, and there was like a communication problem as well. And I hate when there's like a fight or a breakup of a couple because there is a communication issue. I just feel like it's just so stupid. It was rushed. The problem and the fix was rushed, and then just the whole communication issue. It's like a personal thing, I guess. Maybe it's not fair to include that in the rating, but it came really close to a 5 star. I'm really happy I picked this up, and I really enjoyed it. And then next, I feel like I would be doing a disservice to myself if I don't pick this book up in this vlog. It's been sitting on my bookshelves for way too damn long, and I need to get to it. So I am picking up Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, and it is another college romance. I guess this is about a hockey player and a figure skater. Basically, it's about two athletes finding love. And I read like one chapter last night because I wasn't really sleepy yet. I was like wired from reading The Deal. And I was like, let me just read one chapter of this book so I can feel it out, see how I feel about it. And it seems okay so far. I just read like Anastasia, our female main character's perspective, and we also get our male main character's perspective as well. So I'm looking forward to reading it. I think what I'm going to do though for this one is listen to it on Spotify audiobooks while I'm reading it physically. In between, when I have time to sit down and read it, I'll read it. But if I'm doing stuff around the house, I'll like listen to the audiobook. It's 400 and some pages, and I get so bored when contemporary romance books are over 300 pages. I don't want that to happen, and I have kind of somewhat high hopes for this. The Deal definitely took me by surprise because I did not expect to like it so much. So now I'm just like riding a high, and I'm worried that I'm just going to like free fall. So I'm hoping that I like this. I don't know why, but I have high hopes for this, and I'm just worried I'm gonna be disappointed. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later. So I finished Icebreaker by Hannah Grace last night, and I was very underwhelmed by it. I felt like the plot was pretty flat. It was very like bad Disney-ish. It reminded me of like the movie Ice Princess from Disney, and it's about like a figure skater, and that's probably why I'm comparing the two. We have Anastasia, our figure skater, and Nate, our hockey player. They meet, they fall in love. The hockey team did something to mess up one of their ice rinks, so now they're having to share one ice rink. There's a lot of talk about anxiety, and because they have to share the rink, they have to see each other more often. They go to college parties, they see each other, and there's attraction there. All of that was cutesy. It didn't really wow me in any way. It felt like the relationship was pretty flat. I don't know why, but like I wanted to like it, but I just didn't. I gave it a 3 stars. The only reason why I gave it a 3 stars is because I loved the friendship between Anastasia's friends and Nate's friends, and I also liked how they both cheered each other on and supported each other throughout their career paths. I feel like I want to read the other 2 books that's in the series, Wildfire and Daydream. I am interested to see if one of those books are about Henry, because I really liked his character in this book, so I'm excited and hoping that he is going to be having a book, if he doesn't already, in Daydream or Wildfire. So yeah, I am looking forward to the rest of this series. This wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. I feel like I'm also like reading way too many like college romances. I think I'm going to disregard these 2 that's on my TBR for this vlog, and I think what I want to do is pick up a dark hockey romance. So get this, I was doing some research and there is dark hockey romance by C.R. Jane. It's called the Pucking Wrong series. The first book is The Pucking Wrong Number, and this is about a struggling girl in New York City who mistakenly texts a superstar hockey player, and their unexpected connection becomes a lifeline. Or there is another one. It is titled Brutal Obsession by S. Massery. It says this book is about Grayson Deverox, who shatters her leg and drags her into the spotlight. As she resists his obsession, a sick darkness emerges within her. I don't know what that means, but it just sounds dark. And I think to survive this vlog and continue reading hockey romances by reading something dark, so I think I'm going to be picking one of these up next. I haven't decided yet which one, but maybe the next reading update I will let you guys know. But I'm thinking The Pucking Wrong Number is the way to go. I'm probably going to read it on my Kindle because I don't have the physical copy, so we will see, unless I decide to order it tonight, and it'll be here sometime soon. I'm gonna catch up with you guys later, and I'll let you know what I decided to read. So I started reading The Pucking Wrong Number by C.R. Jane, and so far I am interested. I am literally on chapter 1, and the prologue hooked me. A girl having a devastating past, then us being plummeted to the present and learning about how she has dealt with whatever has happened in the prologue. And yeah, I am here for it. I don't have much else to say to you guys, but I wanted to tell you guys that I did start The Pucking Wrong Number, and I am interested to see what happens with our characters. Our main character's name is Monroe, and we got, let me show you guys. We have a little bit of character art in the beginning. So this is, I guess, our MMC. Let me give you a close-up. So this is our MMC. And that's the front, right? So let me show you the back. It's not spoiling anything. This is him without a shirt in the back. So the only difference is like he's wearing a shirt in the beginning and then he's not. I don't know what that signifies. He's not my cup of tea, but now that I've like seen the character art, I don't know if I can unsee it. So I don't know how I'm going to feel about it because I'm not attracted to him in any way. That's just not my cup of tea. But you know what? Like, we're gonna roll with it. This is obviously a dark hockey romance. I just needed a palate cleanser after reading like a bunch of contemporary romance hockey romances. I just needed something a little bit different, a little bit darker, so I can keep reading hockey romances. I think this is the right move for right now. I'm gripped. And the other thing that also gripped me was the author. She wrote, let me tell you guys. So in like the first page, it says, "My dear red flag renegades, I call you this because entering the world of the Dallas Knights means embracing the fact that the best book boyfriends often come with a few red flags or a lot of red flags if we're talking about Lincoln Daniels. After listening to Taylor Swift's Mastermind a few hundred times, I started to daydream about a character who would do anything to get his girl, and I do mean anything. A character who had the ability to manipulate everything behind the scenes to achieve what he wanted. A character who was the villain and the hero all at once. While we're used to these types of characters, it's enemies to lovers type stories. I wanted Lincoln to be the opposite of that. All the couples in the series are soulmates of the highest order, but the heroine's tragic past sometimes make them a bit stubborn when it comes to accepting all the love that their hockey player dreamboats want to give them. Good thing Lincoln and the rest of the boys are willing to step in and make sure they get their happily ever afters no matter what. I've found over the years that the greatest love stories are often found in the shadows. Those love stories are often messy and complicated, and that makes them perfect. Welcome to the world of the Dallas Knights, and while I call you red flag renegades right now, by the end of the book you might find that those red flags, well, they look a little green. You know what? Red flags in books always look green to me, so can't wait in. I'm really excited and I really love what she said about this series. I'm already enjoying the author's writing so far. I just hope it doesn't get super cringy for me because contemporary romances or dark romances just end up sounding super cringy at times. So I'm really hoping to avoid that feeling. I am gonna go back to reading and I will update you guys when I have an update for you. Oh, how I am obsessed with this book. I cannot tell you how much I am loving this. So we have Lincoln Daniels, he is our hockey player, and we have Monroe, she's our FMC, and you guys, she has had like such a traumatic past and now she is having a hard time just kind of like making it by in life. She's literally working 2 jobs. She's taking night classes so she can graduate and she's just doing the best that she absolutely can. She's living in a shitty apartment and there's like sleazeballs left and right because she is an attractive girl, so all of these guys just want to get with her and she doesn't want to give anyone the time of day. She is holding on to her sanity for dear life. This girl is just a struggling student, you know, and she has no one to turn to. She has no one to help her out. She is literally making it on her own and she's just such a strong person. I absolutely adore her. One day when she was just having a bad day, fighting off sleazeballs left and right, Lincoln texts her and he is thinking that he's texting some other girl, but it's actually Monroe, and they figure out that she's not indeed the girl that he was intending to text. They just start to become friends, get to know each other, and Lincoln he hires a PI to get to know her because he wants to figure out who she is. She has absolutely no idea who he is, and he's like this famous hockey player. And you guys, this man, so okay, let me set the scene for you. Monroe is supposed to go on like a study date with her friends from her class, and they're going to like this fancy restaurant, and she's like, I can't really afford it, but you know, like I'm so exhausted, I have no choice, and everyone's gonna be there, so we're gonna study together kind of thing. And apparently this other guy, his name is Connor, he basically sets the scene for her because he wants to take her out on a date, and without asking her, he tricked her into going to this restaurant, and she's like, well shit, you know, like he's gonna be paying for me, I may as well stay. And she texts Lincoln about this, and Lincoln is like pissed because she's on this date. What does he do? He buys out the restaurant for the entire night, pays for everyone's meals so everyone can just clear out that moment. It is so hilarious. Monroe doesn't really mind because she didn't want to be on that date anyways. It's just so good. I am literally like halfway through and I'm devouring this book. I literally started this like not even 24 hours ago and I fear I am going to finish tonight. I need the rest of this series. It is so good. I am going to give you guys more of an update later on today if I finish it today, or tomorrow whenever I finish it. But you guys, I'm having like the best time ever. It's dark, but it's not like black, if that makes sense. Like he's like a morally gray character and I absolutely love him. I'm having such a good time. I love the series, and the author's writing is very engaging. I really like the way the author wrote both characters because there's so much personality for each of these characters. I literally had to get through half of the book to get any bit of like spice, and they still haven't bumped uglies yet. I just love the yearning and the slow burn aspect of it. I'm just having such a good time. I'm gonna go back to reading and I will update you guys when I have an update for you. I have some thoughts. I've been sitting on my couch and reading this book, and you guys, I was like wondering when like the dark romance portion of this book was going to immerse and show itself, and it has. And oh my gosh, this man is so funny. I feel like this is definitely like a red flag for some people, but like I don't know if something's wrong with me because I think it's like the sweetest thing ever. He basically like is holding her hostage because he doesn't want her to go anywhere. And it's so funny. It's so funny. And it's like she loves him so much that she won't leave either. But she's also sane enough to know that this isn't right. This is hilarious. I'm almost done this book. I'm gonna come back and give you guys my full review, but I needed to like come on here and tell you how funny this is. I'm literally on chapter 35 right now. I have like another 30 some pages to go. I'm gonna come back and give you guys my review in a sec. So I finished The Fucking Wrong Number by C.R. Jane, and I think I have a new favorite dark romance author. I really enjoyed this book. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. Honestly, I've been in like a weird little slump, and this book just reminded me why I like dark romances so much. It was so fast paced. It was so addictive. The plot grasped me from the get-go. Literally like the first page, I was already hooked. I knew that this was a dark romance, but it didn't really feel dark to me. It just felt a little like morally gray, I guess. Lincoln Daniels is definitely has some darker aspects to him rather than Monroe. Like has a sad past, and she has gone through a lot in her past, and she's like trying to do better, trying to work, go to school, and just make a better life for herself. Where so Lincoln is just like, I want to take care of you, I have the money for it. The way he goes about manipulating her life for her to be dependent on him, basically like forcing her to depend on him, the way he went about it was just like a little icky to me. And I got everything that I wanted from this book. I did give this 4 stars. It was so much fun, and I am really looking forward to reading the rest of this series. This definitely still focuses on the hockey aspect, but it is definitely like a darker side to this book than the other books we've read in this vlog. And speaking of this vlog, let's recap real quick. So we did read 4 books. The first book was Consider Me by Becca Mack. This is like a small town hockey romance, and it is a part of the A Playing for Keeps series. I am looking forward to reading the rest of this series. I did give this book 4 stars, I believe. I am looking forward to reading the rest of this series. It is an interconnected romance. It was very sweet. It was like a big comforting hug. This book was a little bit too long for my liking, being a contemporary romance, but I did enjoy it. Again, 4 stars, very good. I would recommend it to everyone to read, especially if you're a hockey romance lover and you're looking for a sports romance to read. This is definitely a good go-to. And then I read The Deal. This was so good. This is like an OG hockey romance, and I see what all the hype is about. It is sweet, it is meaningful, it is impactful. It talks about a lot of important topics in this book. It's not just like a silly little romance, and I absolutely enjoyed this book. I gave this 4.5 stars. I cannot wait to read the rest of the series. This is the first book in the off-campus series, and yeah, like they're all interconnected romances, and I hear that there is another spin-off of this series where we get to see these characters as parents, and we get to see how their kids are living, kind of thing. So I'm like really excited for that. It just sounds so good. And then we read Icebreaker. This is the first book in the UCMH series. I did not really like it as much as I thought I was going to. It was way too heavy on like the spicy scenes, and the plot wasn't as impactful. It was just kind of like This is a book that I would recommend as like a silly little romance book that you could just like shut your brain off and just like kind of read through. It is also a little bit long. I felt like the story was being stretched out to fill up pages. I feel like there could have been a little bit more depth to the story, but the author's writing was fantastic. It was a college romance through and through. So again, this got 3 stars for me. I think I am going to continue with the other 2 books in the series, mostly because I do own them, and I feel like if I own the books, I should give it a try and try to read it. If you have read this series or this book, let me know what your thoughts are on it. Let me know if I should continue, because I am on the fence, but I truly feel like I should read it, especially because I own the other 2 books in this series. And then again, we read The Pucking Wrong Number by C.R. Jane. This got a 4 stars from me. This is a dark hockey romance, and I needed this book in this vlog. All of the other books were college romances, contemporary romances. This is a little bit on the darker side. So any of my girlies that are into dark romances, definitely check this out, especially if you're looking for a hockey romance. This is such a great book. I love C.R. Jane's writing. It was so beautifully written. You can really engage with the characters, and it was just so much fun. And this is the first book in the series as well. Wow, I read the first book in 4 hockey. I accidentally started 4 new series. I just realized that. How did I do that? Oh man, okay. Anyways, so this is the first book in the Pucking Wrong series by C.R. Jane. She has another like 4 or 5 books in this series. I am really looking forward to reading the rest of the series as well. These are all on KU. The Playing for Keeps series is also on KU. The Off-Campus series is also on Kindle Unlimited, so if you want to binge that as well, it is there for you. The Maple Hill series, they are not on Kindle Unlimited. All right, my wonderful friends, that concludes this vlog. I am so excited for you guys to watch this video. Please let me know what you think about these books, and please let me know if you have any other hockey recommendations, any suggestions. If you have any opinions on these books, please go ahead and note that down below in a comment. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!